How can many student loan borrowers get student loan forgiveness after 20 years? And why is this such a popular path in getting rid of your student loan debt? And you might say 20 years, that's a long time. Well, it could be a lot longer than that. And a lot of people might already be well on the way to getting forgiveness. And so it might be a lot shorter than 20 years and you might not even know it. So I'm going to show you why you should go for forgiveness after 20 years, who qualifies, who doesn't, and we'll show you how to make that forgiveness happen maybe even faster than 20 years in this video. So if you look at your credit for forgiveness, so for undergrads specifically, there are some programs out there like it used to be REPAYE, then it became SAVE that would forgive your loans after 20 years, but only for undergrads. So the problem in the old regime of the REPAYE regime is it's kind of challenging to get forgiveness after 20 years with the formula that they use for the REPAYE program. The SAVE program makes it a lot more possible, but the SAVE program has been under a legal challenge. So in general, there's this long-term trend, at least, of undergrads having a path specifically to getting forgiveness after 20 years. Now, if you're going for forgiveness in 20 years, it's probably because you don't qualify for the 10-year program, which is public service loan forgiveness, right? So that program only applies if you work in a public job full-time for 10 years while making these payments. But the good news is most everyone can qualify for the 20-year forgiveness. I say most everyone. There are some people that cannot, and we'll cover who those are in this video. And the good news is most people do have access to 20-year forgiveness, even if you have a graduate degree, if you go through the PAYE or New IBR path. So the PAYE path is open to people who took out their first loan between 2007 and 2014. The New IBR path is available to people who took out their first loan after 2014. So most people should be able to sign up for either one of those two options. Now, the PAYE program you can't sign up for under the new regulations from the Biden administration, but the New IBR plan is still open. And so if you think about the options that people have there, that's really a good thing. And the only downside to that is, we'll talk about the 25-year forgiveness if you can't qualify for one of those. So specifically, if you took out your first loan before 2007, then you wouldn't qualify for those programs, so you'd be not able to pursue 20-year forgiveness unless you were an undergrad-only person. So we'll talk about that in a second. A big question about maximizing your forgiveness credit, if you're going for forgiveness after 20 years of payments, is what should your credit be towards forgiveness after the IDR Account Adjustment? So this is a big program for the Biden administration during like the 2022 to 2024 period that was designed to drastically increase your payment counts towards forgiveness. So the goal of that would be to try to drastically increase the time that you've been in repayment to get you out of debt faster. That's what the whole goal of that program was. And the concern that I've got is the program is confusing and difficult to implement because they're supposed to take the loan with the most credit and then apply that to your full balance after consolidation. So for a lot of people, you're just kind of hoping and praying that the Department of Ed does this the right way. And I don't have a lot of confidence that they'll do that for most everyone. So you do need to be paying attention to this. Now, a whole lot of people could get a huge chunk of their 20 years, taken down just from credit during the IDR account adjustment that, should already be applied to your account, but if not, you need to follow up with that. So that could be a big boon that could get you out of debt even faster than the 20 years that these programs call for. Now, again, 20-year programs, these are for people that are in the private sector, people that are unemployed, people that are working part-time, basically anybody that doesn't qualify for forgiveness with the 10-year PSLF program. And let's talk about those alternatives to 20-year forgiveness. So like I said, 10-year program for PSLF if you're a public sector worker. Of course, you can also just pay off your loans. That's an option as well. That's a second option alternative to 20-year forgiveness. And then, 25-year forgiveness is an option if you don't qualify for the 20-year forgiveness programs. That's specifically people that took out their first loan before 2007 and who don't qualify for this PAYE or New IBR program. So if you want to optimize 20-year forgiveness the most, the first suggestion I've got is just make sure that you've got your, you know what your credit should be. You know that it makes sense to go for forgiveness after 20 years because you've run the math and compared it to paying off your loans, and it makes sense. And you know that you want to optimize things along the way, like maxing your retirement accounts, filing your taxes separately, maybe delaying when you file your taxes by filing for an extension every year to be able to put off the actual due date of when you have to submit those taxes to put off your recertification date. There's all kinds of strategies to maximize your forgiveness, and what that means, of course, is minimizing your payments, getting numbers that are absolutely as low as possible so that you can get more forgiven, meaning you have to pay back less. So we specialize in that in Student Loan Planner. If you go to studentloanplanner.com/book, you can get a custom plan for a few $100 that'll probably pay for itself tenfold or more. And if you are going for forgiveness for 20 years, please let us know what is on your mind. What are you concerned about actually getting that forgiveness? What struggles have you faced in the road to getting forgiveness after 20 years? Please put that in the comments. We would love to see what you have been through. And thank you so much for watching and following Student Loan Planner.